Hi, this is Script to Stage for A Fine Balance. We're sitting down with the makers to chat about the world of the play and the creatives behind it. I am Sananda, the Assistant Director of A Fine Balance. A Fine Balance is being co-presented by Auckland Theatre Company and Prayas Theatre. Today we are sitting down with two people very instrumental in bringing together these two companies to talk about the collaboration. Amit Ohdedar, who's the founder of Prayas and historical and cultural advisor for the show, and Lynne Cardy, Associate Director of the Auckland Theatre Company. Hi, guys.
Kia ora.
Hello.
Now, we have heard about Amit and his background with Prayas already in our first episode, The History of the Emergency. If you have not listened to that episode yet, pause, go back, listen to that first one. Lynne, could you tell us a bit more about your background and the role you play at the Auckland Theatre Company, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm the Associate Director here, and because we are quite a small company in the big scheme of things, I work across a lot of different areas. So I work in the youth arts and supporting emerging artists program that we run. I work with schools and children with creative learning. I work on casting with the directors who come in for our main bill plays. And a big passion of mine is also community outreach and engaging with communities. So that's another kind of strand. And this area, which is around collaboration and working, across the industry with different partners. Yeah.
Nice. So you have a very nurturing role here. What do you enjoy about that?
Well, I enjoy exactly that. It's the nurturing, but it's also the generating. I think it's my role is very much about connecting people to ideas, people to each other, and making things happen. So that's the stuff that I really enjoy. And I love those kind of happy sideways accident things that come up. But obviously we have plans and we have programs and things that we're working towards. But then sometimes you go to Tapak and you see a show by this great Indian theatre company and you go, wow, what a great bunch of people. That comes out of just being out and about and going to see lots of things, which is what I do because of my job. Yeah.
That's excellent. And it gets us right into the next bit, which is what I was going to ask you guys about. How did the seed of this idea of collaboration come about?
Well, Lynne, you go first. I think you came and saw a show.
Yes,
and
I
possibly
did.
That triggered something. So
Yeah.
I let you...
Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been a fan of Prayas for a long time. I can't remember how many shows I've been to see, but I remember the shows. And I think for me, in terms of thinking about this collaboration, it was my experience of the first time that I saw A Fine Balance, which was when you guys did that. Was it
2015?
2015. So it's not that long ago, but. And the thing that I took away from that show, I loved the book. So that was one of my reasons I went to the show. I'd seen you guys work before, so I knew it was going to be good. I was very intrigued about how you would communicate the scale of the novel, because I hadn't read the script. I didn't know the script had been published or anything. So I was intrigued about how you would communicate the scale of the novel on stage. I knew that you had lots of members, so I expected there to be the crowds.
We're
and
a big company.
All of that. You're a big company. And because Ahi was directing it, I had a sense that there would be some live music, so I was kind of getting geared up for that. And I went along and I wasn't disappointed in any way, But one of the things that I really strongly took away from it, aside from the fact that you had managed to communicate this fantastic novel as a great play, was the quality of the acting. Like, I just walked out of there and I think I came in here the next day and was like, oh my God, we have to do something with Prayas Theatre because they've got some fantastic actors there. And I mean that in the way of, you're obviously your ensemble and your ensemble members like we're working with in this production are people who are dipping in and out of the of acting. They're doing it for the love of it, and that's terrific. But you've also got, some serious world-class actors there in your core membership who could blow the socks off anyone on stage. And because stage actors are very different. Yeah. It's a different, it's a very particular craft. And I just saw loads and loads and loads of great actors. So that was my big thing. I came back going, what can we do? What can we do? And then, of course, we also had a great relationship with Ahi through knowing him, as an up-and-coming director.
Because he was working at the time for ATC as part of
sometime
later.
Yes,
around that time.
Yes, that must have been very close to when he must have done the engine room internship with us, maybe that year or the year after. It was the year after, that's right. So we were developing our relationship with him as a director. He created, a couple of works in our youth program and our schools program. Again, he was bringing in actors that he knew, some of whom weren't related to Prayas, but most of whom were. And so that was also a lovely thing that was starting to come together there. Yeah. We did a great schools tour with a show that he wrote, inspired by the story of Rama and Sita, which we just had such a joyful time making that work and taking it out. So I think it was all of those things kind of finally coming together. And then hats off to Margaret Mary Hollands, who used to run TAPAC.
Absolutely.
As you know, a great friend of ours, because she was really that kind of, she was the hookup person to say, look, you guys, you need to really kind of get together.
She would always connect strands, of areas and bring the people together.
She's been a great supporter of Prayas as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, I think my memory serves right. I met you through only, and probably a bit before that first season of 2015. I think we were planning to do a Fine Balance back in 2012 as part of that Readers and Writers Festival.
That's right,
And we wanted Mystery to come over, and so we got to a certain point, but then it sort of didn't work out because of his illness and all that.
That's right. And I remember having chats with you, probably introduced by Margaret Mary after other Prayas shows at TAPAC, where we would just sit and have a bit of a chat. I was always intrigued by what you guys were doing. I remember that really clearly. And then, of course, I did some workshops for you last year when I came and did those writing workshops, which was terrific. Again, just getting to know more about your company, your group, the people involved. I love how your company is incredibly nurturing. Using that word again, you're all about bringing people in. All those workshops that you set up, Amit, were amazing last year. All the different things that people could try. I think it's that thing of you as a group, because you've been going for 15 years now, isn't it?
14 years.
So you've really built that, your community who are coming to get involved in your projects, the expectation is there that it's going to be great, that they're going to be well looked after, that they're going to get to raise the bar and try something new. So I think that's a really great thing that you've got going. That engine is really strong, and that makes it very attractive for us to collaborate with you.
Wow. Yeah. Lovely words. Thanks.
One of the things that for us, a company like us, a community theatre organization, to thrive or to survive is we figured out that for our own benefit, collaboration, be it with individuals or be it with other companies, it only sort of enhances our longevity as well as sustains our growth. So we had been quite used to collaborating with people like yourselves, Margaret Mary and TAPAC and others.
Other professionals in the process. So we've had lots of different sort of groups come in, and I think there was some improv one time, playback theatre maybe.
Playback theatre.
So we've done a bunch of different things over time.
So we consider this as an opportunity, and we really consider ourselves to be lucky to be forming this collaboration, because it takes us to a new space which we would not otherwise have been able to offer on our own, and exposes ourselves to a whole new and a very large audience, and working with a mainstream theatre company like yourselves and such professionals all through the company. And I'm just saying, I'm saying it from the bottom of my heart. And this is not only my opinion, I think it's our whole company. People who are acting here, as well as the people who are, as part of our organizing members, etc., who are getting in touch or getting to know ATC and its staff. And it's been a really, really very fulfilling experience. And we are really and I know it's going to be a great show.
Yes, I know.
Like yourself, I have read Rohinton this book about 2.5 times. I was telling
2.5.
the last time I had to go for some details, so that's all right. So, but I am a great fan of mystery, and
we've actually done a show based on his works previously, Coach, which is based on the Tales from Firozshah Bagh.
That was back in 2009, and that was our first devised show, actually.
Wow!
And Sananda here was one of the dramaturgs.
Yeah, co-writers.
And co-writers, yes. More co-writers.
The costume assistant.
Chief sweeper-upper of the stage.
Yes.
Rounder of actors.
I mean, that has been the equally, I think we are in a way, we are... we consider this as a great opportunity for us, for our company, and also our people and our audience, because they're going to a new space as well.
Yeah.
They're so used to Tapak and all that, and now going to Q Theatre would be a great experience for them too.
Same. I'm really excited to see those two audiences come together. And see what the connection is, and to be in a house with, if we get lots of Prayas audience and lots of, because I've been to as I said, I've been to those shows at Tapak, and that's a different experience. Yeah. It's a different experience to going to an ATC, main bill show in town. So, and I'm a big fan of sitting in mixed audiences. I love it when we have we're having school matinee program with this show. Obviously, there's a lot of interest from the schools, and teenagers will be coming from the high schools. But I love it when we have our ambassador nights where we have the school audience in, but we also have the general public in, to quite a lot of them. Yeah. So you get a really nice mix of 300 teenagers and 300 older people. Yeah. And whilst some people might walk in, see those kids in school uniform and probably think, oh dear, in actual fact, because of the amount of work that we've done with the schools over the years, our schools audiences, I think most young audiences actually are absolutely brilliant, and they kind of they raise the atmosphere in the house, and their responses are different, and so when those two audiences meet to watch the same thing, it's a much more electric and alive and exciting experience.
The kids haven't quite reached the stiff upper lip stage in their lives.
No, not at all. They're so open, and I think I think people really love that. Yeah. And I can say, I'm expecting that that's what we'll also get when we bring your audience and our audience together, that there will be a kind of mix of reactions, responses, how we all are in that space together is going to be really interesting and really fun. And I think that's one of the key things about the collaboration. That's where I can see it really opening up.
Cool.
I also do think that, or maybe this is a question as well, do you think that this is the time has kind of come, I think, for Prayas to do a big collaboration like this? Is this something you would have been able to do?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Why the need to collaborate at all? That was my next question.
Yeah, I think I'm taking cue from Lynne's comment in your question. I think we are, we've been and we've kind of delivered over the years some very large scale and serious shows. I mean, Dara being one of the example, or before that we did Swabhumi, which was Borrowed Earth, which is fully devised and a very broad spectrum migration experience. Dara was very periodic, historic, political, relevant.
Yes.
That kind of shows we would not have been able to deliver upon, say, dialing back about 7-8 years. Over the last 6-7 years of our journey has been really progressing, and that has been done through, again, collaborating with various people and getting to know and learn and share that experience, so to say. So that way to bring a fine balance, we had that experience of doing it 3 years back, and it sort of, obviously, you liked it, and a lot of people liked it, and we got very, very good reviews and feedbacks. So to scale it up to this level now I think it is very, very appropriate moment. We feel much more confident about it.
Yeah, and it's great, I guess, as well for you guys, is that, having done it before, and Ahi having directed it before, that this is a completely new production.
It is.
In that, it's in the round.
Yeah.
Which it wasn't, obviously, that in that first production when I saw it, which I think is going to actually really increase the emotional impact of the story, even just sitting in on the little bits of rehearsal that I've seen, and we're sitting there in the round. I mean, I'm finding my body's leaning in towards the...
That's the magic of the round, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, it's so powerful, isn't it? And I think it's a really, really clever decision for this play. And it'll sit perfectly in that way in Q.
Yeah.
We did that with The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.
It was a great production. I was there.
Jesus Christ Superstar, I think we did a once production in that configuration. And both of those shows had those kind of elements in them where drew you right in. So I think that will be really great. How's it been for you, your company, and perhaps Sandy, you this touches you a little bit more than Amit because you're in the production side, but working alongside or within or by the sort of ATC production machine, because we do tend to roll them out.
I'm supposed to ask the questions.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's been great. Like, it's as Amit Uncle alluded to before, the opportunity to learn is immense and to grow. And outside of, the newer audiences, what I've really enjoyed is the professional production process. And honestly, because we come from a community background, we are used to doing everything ourselves. So when those tasks are sort of going to specific people and they have specific tasks and everything is just moving like clockwork, it is just so freeing for the creatives who are sitting in there, because we are not having to make all these decisions about all these other things which we would normally do, because that's just life of community theatre,
we don't have to, that's something that we were discussing the other day, Ahi and me, and then Ahi may be directing the play. He has to still be on the Facebook and doing, doing the social marketing and all that. Or Sandy has to keep tab of how many tickets have been sold and that kind of stuff. So we are literally...
compulsively.
So literally those things. And the people are taking care of people of competence. That is,
absolutely. And
so
it makes life so much easier, because when you're in the room, you're paying 100% attention to what's going on, how the play is being crafted, and everything to do with what is going to be on stage. Of course, there are things that everybody has to worry about, which is outside of what's on stage. But there was a production where I did 6-7 different roles in the production. But that's how we have operated, and that's fine. We understand that. This has been that growth of, I don't have to make that decision or press that button or move that chair. Like, that has been actually a really great experience, because you understand. But then there's a lot of discipline. There's a lot of extra discipline that goes into it. So I think the days when we've had our ensemble cast working alongside the core cast, they have also really learned to stay focused because we treat them like family. So we also get into certain family dynamics. You know, it's like very much sometimes if you're directing, it's like herding sheep. And it's true.
The feeling in that rehearsal room is fantastic. It's so inviting. It's really warm. Every time I walk in there, I just feel incredibly welcome. But it feels pretty disciplined to me in there, I have to say.
Have you come on a Saturday?
No, maybe that's it. I'm coming this weekend. That's the thing. I need to get in there when the ensemble are there.
Unfortunately for you, I won't be there on the last weekend. But like the.
They just play with you. They're actually very disciplined.
When I'm not in the room, I've heard. When I'm not in the room, I've heard they're fine. They just like to pick on me. So Lynne, why do you think? Why is there a need for ATC to do this collaboration?
Well, for us, it's all about reaching new audiences and developing new audiences, and also just, I guess, informing our own practice. You know, your company does things differently, and I know from the reason I asked you that question about the production thing is because I know from our production side, from what I've been overhearing, is that they've been kind of delighted with the way that you guys have come in, and you know, your process is slightly different. I know the production manager was mentioning to me that, you know, the production meetings are kind of sort of like a combo of what we would consider a classic production meeting and a design meeting at the same time, so that the design is still not so much evolving because a lot of things have been decided, but there's still that fluidity in the conversations that are happening, whereas probably in our process it's all a bit more locked down for a lot of shows, not all shows. So there's things like that, little things like that. Have been really interesting, and I think that's really great for a company like ATC that's been going for a long time, that is a bit of a machine, that does have a lot of main bill shows that it's getting out, to collaborate with a different company that works in a different way. It just shakes us, it invigorates us, and it makes us look at things differently, and that's really important. So we want to look at things differently, and we want to introduce our audience to looking at things differently too. We want to grow the audience together, and we want to reflect the people who are living in Auckland now. That's what we want to do, you know, and the best way for us to do that is by collaborating. That's the most authentic way, because then we really are telling the stories that we want to tell, and we really are seeing the people that we want to see upstage, in the audience, you know, working backstage, all of that stuff. I mean, we've also had a great collaboration across all the departments. We've got your marketing team, our marketing team working together. We don't have a marketing team. Well, your people who are lovely. Yeah, your marketing person. You know what I mean?
That's one of those things which has been lovely to kind of go, you guys do it.
Yeah. But, you know, because your person is a volunteer, you know, for your person to be able to come in and work with that team, you know, who are paid to do that job, you know, that's where all the great sparks happen.
You know, when you first approached us and this collaboration proposal came through, you know, formally, when was it? Like last year, sort of September, October, and I took it to our members, and we were really, I personally, I was shocked, and I didn't have the full answer to it, and I was thinking, and I found that, you know, the rest of
we were all
thinking in the same line as to, you know, a mainstream company like ATC with the kind of work that you do in the professional platform that you operate on. Why on earth would you come and talk to
because we didn't think you had the need. Do you know what we mean? So we wondered what need there was in your basket to fill that would that would be satisfied by working with the
but we decided
theater
to
company,
you know, plunge into it, and I can in conclusion say that it has been a truly rewarding experience. And thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Well, I hope you feel like you have the answers as to why we would want to collaborate with you.
I think apprehension is always good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wondered whether you would say yes. I thought, oh, maybe they won't. They'll, for the same sorts of reasons. Maybe they'll think, oh, that it's that trust thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think that, look, for us, it's so. I mean, in order to really tell the stories that we want to tell and really represent this city that we live in and this world that we live in, we have to be working across and together.
Absolutely.
It's we can't just stick to one set of knitting.
No.
We've actually got to be
inclusive,
doing way more than that. Being inclusive, and the way to do that is like you're describing. With your open door policy, with your volunteers, it's for us as this company. We have to throw our doors open,
right?
And we have to be. We have to learn how to collaborate really fully, and that our collaborators are you are the lead artist. You're driving the vision.
Yeah.
We talk together about what the work might be, and in fact, we started off we were trying to get the rights to something else, weren't we?
That's right.
So that was a challenge. Actually, initially we all wanted to do that other play, but we couldn't get the rights. But then we landed back on A Fine Balance. That was such a terrific piece, and here we are, all this time later, and it's so important for us because we want to be doing more of this with you guys and with other companies, other artists, other organisations that support artists. So, and we're interested in, all sorts of points of view, all sorts of backgrounds that are going to, but it's about having something to say and being ready to say it now and wanting to come in and work with us. Yeah. But we are so into it, so open for it. Yeah.
And where to from here? So, What does collaboration have a future? Are you holding the door open for other collaborators in the future, for other companies like ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got a real future together because, I mean, just the atmosphere has been terrific.
Yeah.
I mean, we've said that all the way through this conversation. Yeah. It is a bit of a love fest, in terms of like it's just felt so easy. And we haven't got through production week yet. We're not open yet, but it feels really good. So I think that, definitely there'll be more in the future. Yeah. And definitely, always, who knows who you'll introduce us to and vice versa, That's the other thing. Because doesn't just stop with our two groups here.
That's right.
There's connections all over the place, and I love the international models of collaboration that you get between several organisations. Including like maybe a festival or whatever, coming in to make something really special that actually has a longer life and perhaps does a bit of touring and stuff. All of that stuff is such a rich territory. Also an area we're super keen to do more in that space. So it's all there. It's all there. Yeah. Comes back again to your sustainability question.
Yeah, it does.
There's strands that
and evolving.
And evolving. Yeah. And
if
so
you don't evolve, you die.
I reckon next step will be let's get through production week. Let's do opening night, and then
let's have a wine.
Let's sit down, have a good old yarn. Yeah. Without the microphone.
And you're right. I mean, like, you might find that this was a template of both of the companies might find that this was a great template of how things can run when you do big collaborations like this. Yeah.
Because I think one of the things that we did do quite a bit of talking at the beginning before we sort of formalised it, didn't we? And I think, and we did know each other a bit, and
which helped,
and we did have that sense of, I don't know how much you knew about whether you went to ATC shows, but I mean, I had the relationship with your work. So
I mean, like I knew ATC from the shows, not and I knew a few persons like you, but they're not as an organisation. So that's been that's why I say, I mean, in the last 6 months have been quite 8 months actually. 8, 9 months.
Yeah,
it's been truly great.
Coming to term.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Amit and Lynne. And it was great to have this discussion. This is a momentous production for both of these companies. I feel for Prayas, I can say that it definitely is momentous. It feels momentous. We're learning a lot, and still more to do. And
Same here.
I'm getting the same sense from you, Lynne. So it's been awesome. And thanks for you guys to listening, to those who tuned in. This was our last episode in a series of 4 podcasts about the making of a fine balance. Thanks for being with us through this journey. And A Fine Balance is on at Q Theatre now until 6th of July. Book your tickets. You can get them from the Q Theatre website, which is qtheatre.co.nz.